5, I mean. Okay, we're on. Can Jen hear us? You can hear us? She can hear. Okay, here we go. It is Thursday, May 9th, 2024. This is the regular monthly meeting of the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority, and this meeting is called to order. It is 5 p.m. Anthony, do we have any letters of communications to the board?
None that I know of.
No. Approval of board minutes, April 5th, 2024, Finance Committee meeting. Have those been reviewed?
They've been reviewed.
In the April 5th, 2024 board meeting, have they been reviewed?
I believe Ms. Pickman has them, and we haven't heard back from her.
Okay, then let's just deal with the Finance Committee. And just for the record, Ms. Pickman came back from a little vacation and is under the weather. She texted me. That's unfortunate. She shouldn't leave the North Country, I guess. So their motion to approve the April 5th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting?
Yes.
The minutes?
Yep.
And second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They are approved. Reports, committee meetings, Finance Committee?
So the Finance Committee met a while ago, 35 minutes ago, to be exact. And so Patty went over with us the unaudited internal process that we've gone through. They were here for 2 days. The results will be back in about 2 weeks. So she was busy. We cut that time in half. So she was very busy making sure they had all the documentation they needed to go through the audit. And so she's going to be sharing with us some year-to-date stuff from last year. And then she has a pretty exciting announcement that I'll let her make. So if I could just turn it over to you. Thank you.
If we look at the statement of financial position, you'll notice that our regular accounts receivable is down to about $213,000. 96 to 98% of our open AR is either current or 1 to 30 days. So everything that we're billing is coming back to us in a very timely fashion. Our accounts receivable, AEAS, we have 1 month to Contour and 1 month from DOT. And our grants receivable fluctuate depending on what we have in the hopper from the projects that we're doing. Our fixed assets ended at year end at $86 million net of depreciation. Our construction in progress ended the year at 8.2 million, of which the Malls F project is still on the books. We are waiting for one final New York State payment that we believe was held up with the budget extensions. Our liabilities, our current accounts payable are at $688,000, and the top 10 are delineated on page 2. Our AEAS Contour is at 386. That's only 1 month that the authority owes to Contour. New York State retirement is still at the 124. We've paid 96. And project accounts payable at March 31st was 1.2 million. We have succeeded in paying off approximately 575,000 of that. So we're under $1 million that we owe for all the different projects that we have going. And if we look on page 2, you can see our top 5 bank accounts, our top 4 projects that are in process, and the top 10 vendors to whom we owe money, and the payments that were made in April. We just wrote checks to 2 of the vendors that haven't been paid, the 30,000 and the 27,000. Those 2 checks are sitting here, so they are now currently paid off. Any questions about the statement of financial position? Our budget to actual for year end, I'll focus pretty much just on year end. The biggest changes I'll highlight for us, the toll income for the bridge, we had budgeted that we would be 20% below our base year of 2019-20. We averaged 18 below. And we had a couple of good months that were even lower than that, so we did end up with a little extra income on that. Our fuel sales, we knew partway through the year that this budget number was way too high. We were basing our budget on what Contour initially was spending for fuel when they first started. They haven't continued that pattern. But the good news on that is when you see airport expense, we haven't spent as much on fuel, so it offsets one another. The AEAS income, we based that on the assumption on the number of flights that the airline flew last year. We had more flights canceled than we anticipated, which has brought that down. But again, you will notice on the AEAS expense side, with less flights coming in, less expense. And the marine terminal, we had one extra salt ship, an unexpected transformer project, a small repair for a turbine project, and we also had some additional income to offset the expenses that we needed to rent equipment for some of the marine terminal projects. So there was a little added income there, which has given us the additional income for the marine terminal. If we look at our expenses, the biggest under general expenses under the bridge, we had budgeted more of the commercial insurance to be borne by the bridge, and the calculations when the final finance agreement came in meant that we could spread more of that out. So you'll see that in other places, and that just simply gave us the under the credit. The airport fuel expense, again, with less fuel sold, less needs to be purchased. The interest expense that is under the airport, we have budgeted interest expense for the line of credit for the revitalization project. That line of credit just came on board last week, so there was no interest to expend during the last fiscal year. And the AEAS expense, you'll notice it corresponds to the loss in income, but the loss in expense. If we look at our utility expense under the industrial park, we budget that there will be no tenants in the industrial park, so that we would have to pay all of the utilities for the park. But our tenants pay a good portion of the utility bill, so we should always have a healthy credit for the industrial park. The marine terminal, the salary expense, we have a sizable credit. The warehouseman position was not filled in the 23-24 fiscal year, and the use of the longshoreman did not come in as anticipated, so we were able to save some money there. The same interest expense, we anticipated a line of credit for the port expansion project, but the port expansion project has been pushed out, the actual construction portion. So we were able to not have to use a line of credit this year, so the interest credit is there on the savings. Any questions on the budget to actual?
Nope. Anything else?
Yes, we received an announcement today about an award that we've received through the New York State budget process, and so I want Patty to be able to share that news.
Under the Department of Transportation, aid to localities, the OBPA received a line item equal to its 23-24 budget shortfall,
Which was?
3.1 mil.
So just a huge thank you to New York State for finding that in the budget for us to bring us there.
Yes. Thank the governor and her staff for including it in the budget, and thank our local legislators for supporting that and moving that forward. It certainly helps with paying some bills that we have deferred in the last fiscal year. And let's hope that things get better, understanding that what caused this was, again, COVID, and how it, when they closed the border and what it meant for the loss of revenue over our bridge. Hopefully that never happens again. And we keep improving on the amount of traffic over the bridge. That's the one thing that will help us, I think, come out of the deficit financing. Thank you, Patty. Anything else?
That's all we have for finance. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Were there any other questions, Director for Nicole or Patty? No? We'll move on to the bridge traffic report. Anthony, you're doing that?
That's Patty.
I'm doing that.
Patty.
Oh, Patty,
taking the
okay.
lead.
You'll see for April, our auto crossings are at 37,688, down 17%. Just to let you know that we did not change the budget shortfall. We are still at 20% below our 1920. We didn't want to get crazy in our anticipation.
Mhm.
So we're only down 17%, which is a little bit better than we anticipated. Our truck traffic and other crossings are down 9.3%, giving us a total reduction of 16%. And you can see there that the revenue is down approximately $40,000 for this month. And we've put at the bottom now, we're doing a loss of revenue for the calendar year so that we can follow where we are at the end of every month.
Right.
Unfortunately, we did not see any sizable increase during the April eclipse traffic. There was enough along the Kingston, Brockville, Morrisville border on the Canadian side that they didn't have to come this way. We were ready. We had all 4 lanes open. We now know that they work, but we didn't need them. So that was unfortunate, but we're still showing a good result in the traffic.
Let's hope it keeps getting better. Any questions on the bridge traffic report? If not, we'll move on to the airport activity report, Charlie.
Yes, I noticed last month there wasn't a passenger activity report came out on March. So I'll do March and April both. So in March we got 453 passenger enplanement out of Islandsburg. So general flight loads of 31%. And so their on-time performance on March was really bad. A lot of mechanic issues on the planes. But again, they keep them flying, so they've been delaying them to fix the plane and at least still get people out of there. They're trying their best to get people out of here and not get stuck at the airport or at their initial where they're going. So, and then also in April, they did really well with a 502 passenger enplanement and also 98% completion rate. And also they did really well on time on April. So.
Charlie, do we have any data about if a flight is delayed, canceled, anything like, or I guess more a delay, if people end up going someplace else for their flight, if they have a connecting flight close by? Do we have that data to see how many people were maybe losing from when it's initially booked until when it actually takes off?
I'm sure I can get that from Contour because yes, a lot of, so what ended up happening is a lot of people that can't get to their connection. So Contour ended up swapping them, either flying out of Plattsburgh or Watertown to Philly to get on their connection with American. So yeah, I can work on that and see if I can get that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Charlie, do you have year-to-date enplanements?
Year to date for this year
Yes.
is down the bottom. We got 1506 down the bottom of the chart.
Great practice.
No, do I have that in my packet?
No, you wouldn't have gotten it. Because you got your packet yesterday.
1506.
Yep.
Just as well, those numbers would have upset me.
I'll get it away.
Thank you.
And then also we just we completed our FAA inspections.
Good.
No, nothing big finding, just really concurring our airport certification manual, which is just paperwork. And he found a couple lights out there, new regulations. He gave us up to the end of the month, May 31st, to fix it. So we're all set on that. Besides that, everything's close on the inspection for FAA.
Good.
And then our TSA inspection is coming up on June 12th.
What
That's
does that
another.
consist of?
It's all our security documents and also they will do an audit on our badges to make sure everybody is concurrent with their badges and nobody has a badge that's out of date, that's still out there, that has access to the airport. But overall, we're doing really good there. And again, it's gonna be a 2-day process, so it should be done by June 14th. And besides that, nothing else from the airport really. Construction's kicking off.
Okay. I said, oh, yes, there is one. There better be one.
GSE building's completely moved. And the cover's already on. The only thing that's left in there is for Collins and Hammond to install the lights on there, and that building's all set. That's phase 1 of the project.
Good.
Really, and the water's on the way right now. Thanks for the city's assistance that we got right now. They just started excavation today for the water line, and they already cleared out the field that we own that goes through the highway.
Mhm.
That field's been clear, and they're working on excavating all that to get the pipe in there.
Okay, next time, when we meet in June, would you please provide a map for the board so they can see exactly where that line will go?
Yep.
Some of the details regarding, you were there, regarding size and
Yeah.
other things.
Besides that, Marnay Construction, they already showed up last Friday.
Good.
They are gonna start pre-mobilizing also to
Mhm.
start the phase 2 of the projects. So
We're actually construction. Phase 2 is construction.
correct, the actual building.
Okay, now what about the project going from the airport across the highway to the Oswegatchie?
The airport drainage project, yes, we're still on hold with a New York DOT permit.
What is their issue?
Currently, the engineering service is having difficulties getting permits from New York DOT.
From New York
New York
DOT?
Yes,
They don't want an open cut in the
Were you in on the monthly calls to the second floor?
Yes,
And are they aware of that?
I believe they are, yes.
It's been brought up in the overall project meeting
Yeah.
for the airport. Because we also have permitting to cross 37 for the water line.
Yeah, that's also
So
a New
that's-
York DOT permit.
Maybe we should emphasize that we would like to get that moving.
That's pretty much everything on the drainage project's all done. It's only thing it needs is to tie into
Right.
that outfall, and everything is all done. So we're just waiting on that permit to cross the road. So
Good. Anyone else have questions of Charlie from the airport
Wasn't it approved once?
before we change it?
there's a new guy looking at permits.
Sounds like Albany, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know.
Do that.
Yeah. Sits on somebody's desk and it's moved to another one. All right.
Can you remind me again, what are bids due for EAS?
Yep, it's actually May 15, next Wednesday, until 11:59 p.m.
Thank you.
And then that goes to federal DOT,
Correct, that will
who
go
will
to
notify us on
USDOT.
the 16th.
USDOT will look at the bids and then they will send us all the bids.
And then we can arrange a meeting, open public meeting, and invite anyone who bids,
Correct, possible bidders can come in and present their proposal.
okay? And that would include maybe members of the, not just the public, but including the public and city council who could give a recommendation
Correct,
to the board.
correct.
Great.
It's a good idea.
Mhm.
We got enough chairs in here, Anthony.
We'll make sure we do.
There you go.
And that'd be great.
Good. Anything else, Charlie?
That's it.
Good. Thank you, Charlie. Board activity.
So April was fairly slow for salt. We did 2,200 tons of the highway salt and 1,500 tons of the treated tall rocks. And just a few weeks ago, the salt companies had their covering companies button up all the piles. So everything's tidied up, done for the season. I did some rough calculating and we actually sent around 3,000 tons of the regular highway salt out the door this year compared to last year.
How much?
3,000 tons
More?
No.
more than last
More,
year.
okay.
No, just
And about 6,000 more tons of the thaw rocks compared to last
Oh,
season.
good.
nice.
So our thought of that taking off in the Adirondacks and other areas, I think is kind of proof.
It was a relatively mild winter as far as snow and ice, eh?
So the fact that we still had increases and it's a
I'm
good,
sure the salt companies are aware of that.
Yep.
That it was a mild winter and we still sent out
yeah, no, we've been been in negotiations this year, so they've actually recognized that even though we
good.
ourselves and many other ports and depots, we actually still held strong on what went out the door this season, at least.
Good.
And for ag products, we actually had a fairly busy month of April for the gluten meal. I jokingly thought to myself, I didn't know if our customer put a sale on product. We had 20 trucks, 601 tons out the door of gluten meal. I personally have only been here for a few years, but I have never seen 4 meal trucks in one day. So it was going out, correct. So we had a busy April when it came to gluten meal, and that actually zeroed us out, as you see.
Yes.
And
What does that mean? That
all product
Not
was,
only that we're zeroed out, what are the reasons behind that? Any idea?
I think there's a supply issue coming from the Midwest from the customer. And
So they're pulling from our inventory?
no, I think our inventory is, I think everybody's short. And I think that it's not just an Ogdensburg problem.
Dave, any insight?
No, I'd have to ask more questions. I don't know. Are we normally zeroed out on gluten?
No, we normally always carry a little bit.
It seems like
I don't-
the zeros just
Yeah.
caught my.
Yeah, me too.
But, yeah.
I don't
But they
remember
were-
ever seeing zero.
We actually received 3 rail cars yesterday, unloaded them today.
So you're back.
So
Okay.
it was a couple weeks, but we're back in business
What do you have in short tons, 100 tons?
per rail car.
Yeah, per rail car.
Yeah.
You had 3 in?
Yep.
Okay.
Still.
We actually organized with the customer, told them that we were going to be unloading today, and we were able to use the grant funded rail car unloader, and
Oh, good.
both trucks that came were loaded direct from rail to the truck, which is a huge cost savings.
Yeah.
It's quicker, customers out the doors quicker as well. So
So is this going to local?
most of it actually does not. A lot of it actually goes to Vermont.
It's so interesting.
And for pellets, as you can see, we only had 2 trucks equaling in 67 tons. That is all I have for inventory report. I do have a quick comment to make and bring up that Adam with QSL, our partner, he and I spent a couple days in Canada and went to 4 or 5 different port locations that QSL also has a footprint in, and got to see some coal, some steel, some fertilizer, salt, some other little things, and it was definitely, I compliment QSL. They are very professional. Their other facilities are, it's a great resource for Ogdensburg to have. In Port Colborne, they actually had nearly the exact same setup as the stacker and hopper conveyor that I showed the photos of. So not the sole purpose, but kind of the big purpose of that visit was to actually see the 2 conveyors in operation. They moved a little over 20,000 tons in 2.5 days, which would take us weeks to do with dump trucks and loaders. So it was a very educational trip, and
Good.
I thank QSL for that exposure.
Is Adam getting you to come the right way as far as your hockey team? Yeah.
He's trying.
Even though they lose every year? Just saying. That's another matter. Well, that's good that Adam is bringing you along. You see different aspects of what other ports do, and it certainly helps, I think, your position here. We're always looking for additional cargo, and the more you witness, I think the better off we'll all be. It's all good. Thank you.
I thank OBPA and QSL for allowing me to make the trip.
Good.
And just a quick, sounds like we might get some farm business in here next fall too, maybe? Is that right?
There was a possibility that we should probably follow up on with a local farm.
Sounded like, according to what he told me, he's
Yep.
planning on using storage here.
Flat storage. Yep.
Flat storage, yep.
Good.
That's actually a good thing, I think, to engage the farming community who has the ability to utilize this storage, and we've got the opportunity to help them out, so that's good.
While we're at it, thank you for bringing that up. Since you two are right to my right, because it involves both of you, who should we talk to on the county level about what we can do to help them out, agriculture? I mean, what organization do we go to on the county level? What do we talk to let them know what we can do here? Well, throw you a curve, eh?
Well, you're asking about who to talk to, right?
Yeah.
So, I would start with Farm Bureau.
St. Louis County Farm Bureau?
I'm planning.
Planning,
Because they oversee the ag and farm districts
and,
and the plots.
extension, but,
Writing that down?
Yeah. Cornell, what was the first one?
well, Cornell probably.
Yeah.
Well, I would call it.
Oh, Farm Bureau. Yeah.
That might be Nick Gilbert, president of Farm Bureau, County Farm Bureau.
I mean, I think we need to get there, you know that, you know how I feel about that. Agriculture in this county, what can we do to help them? And then what do we need to do so we can help them more?
And thank you for hosting that farm that came to see you. I know I had talked to him and he came over. He was very impressed with what you guys have down there.
Good.
And he told me, he said, oh yeah, that's what we're doing next year. We're gonna go there. So
Yeah.
I think they had a good meeting, so that's good. We can do a lot.
Good. Excellent. It is all about the bottom line, you know. All right, anything else? Anything else for James? If not, economic development report, including the building occupancy, Anthony.
Yeah, so starting with building occupancy report, this is looking pretty standard these days, it seems, month on month. We don't have any new vacancies, which is good. We've been working through, as you'll see even in this board meeting, working through renewals. The vast majority of everybody is staying with us, which is a really good thing. And we've gotten the lease rates in such a line to where now we could rely more on CPI increases. So it's smaller shocks to our tenants since when I first started. So I'm pleased to report that. A couple of highlights to report from activities in April. We had two meetings regarding the childcare facility, which is very exciting with our project engineers and architects, and then the operator, Arco Jefferson and St. Lawrence. So two meetings, one was virtual, and then the second one was in person, to where we had some design concepts to discuss and, lean a little heavier towards this direction or a little away from this, these thoughts. So it was exciting to start seeing things come together on that front. It's going to be a great thing for the Commerce Park and for the community. It's very good to be this far along. So that was great. As James alluded to, on the port front, we've been working on some new multi-year agreements with our largest customers. That's been going very well. One of them was already approved by the board. I'll be bringing another one for next month's approval. So that's good. Staff attended the 2024 Travel and Vacation Show in Ottawa. Yep, which is Patty and Karen were there the first day, and then Patty and myself were there for the second day. And surprisingly, people had such wonderful things to say that when they've used Ogdensburg, even with the current airline, just so happened they had good experiences. So that was great. And then a lot of people still didn't know about us and what we have to offer. So long story short, with the airport project, the terminal expansion and renovation, that component with increased air service, I think we're going to be very well positioned to get that bridge traffic increased again and to be able to serve the Canadian market. We've learned a lot of different things that we wouldn't necessarily think were that key, such as vehicle safety in the parking. So like people in Ottawa airport are having vehicles stolen. So security, something we take for granted and we really don't push, in our advertising or our promotion, is a big concern up there. So we've learned a lot to kind of recalibrate what message we're pushing. So that was a really good experience, happy experience. And then we did meet with Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway Development Corporation and a company called Fed Riders. So GLS is sponsoring video promotion of all the ports along the Seaway. So we're actually going to be the first port in that program. So they're coming next week, Wednesday and Thursday, to do aerial footage, interviews, and then most likely they'll cycle back through once we have vessel activity. So we're looking forward to that next week, and for that promotion and that push. So we're very appreciative of GLS for supporting that.
I wonder, you say a lot up in the Ottawa area still don't know us.
Mhm.
Makes me question our marketing.
Right.
Is there something we should be doing something we should
Right.
try
Yep.
that we haven't in the
Yeah.
past? You know what I mean?
Well, I think we haven't even scratched the surface on social media, and that's really where
Okay.
we did the electronic billboards.
Mhm.
We don't have many tangible information to support doing that again. We do radio, but that's limited impact
Right.
and very limited television. So social media is really where we need to spend our time and effort and money. And even on that note, we've actually met with the New York State Labor Department's social media team
Oh,
to get hints and tips as from one state agency to another.
Right.
What are some, good practices and where is for a small marketing team and a small organization, resource-wise, where's our money best spent? So we've got some pretty good guidance
Good.
on where to push.
And it's amazing that they still do print media up there. They have a kids magazine. It's for parents, for children.
Right.
And I was told, I believe it was last year, that we should have something in there because every parent has this magazine. It's all about daycare and parenting and things like that. So, I mean, things that we wouldn't think of, but they still do a lot in the print side.
There you go. Especially if, if there were an opportunity for flights out of here to somewhere else, that, families would like to go to.
Exactly. And that does lead to another comment of we will have the service and we will have the facilities that is worth marketing. So that
Good point.
in and of itself is, we try to be strategic on,
Right.
if things aren't going so well locally, do we want attention to that? So.
Well, the whole point, I think, and Steve was one who came up with the large community area, so we could bring in family type events that, like you just said, could draw families from the Ottawa area. Good to hear. You're moving ahead on things that I'd have no idea about.
Any questions?
No, just a thought, I was just thinking even like, I don't know how do you do the Highland Games, right? They have events over on the other side of the border, even that they look for any kind of advertising, whether it's for a, billboard that they're doing a program, a lot of times they have program sponsors, things like that, anything like that, that we could just, might be a little bit here, a little bit there, but then brings that over.
75th anniversary.
There you go, first weekend in
Really,
August.
that's what I thought about, is a big event like that where marketing is put into people's hands just to let them know about what the area offers. But
Maybe
also.
fly the plane low over the.
With a banner behind it. With a banner behind it. And thinking about how people shop when they're shopping for airline tickets, and, a lot of times you just go right into a search engine or an app on your phone, so how can we be prominent in that area? Because that's how people do it nowadays.
Yeah.
But to your point, yes, we don't want to advertise something that might not be successful either, so.
We'll be able to deliver. I think
Yeah.
we're going to be at that.
Stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Don't forget the Highland Games. Anything else for Anthony? No? Anthony, any unfinished business? Or Patty, whoever?
It's me.
None.
No.
Somebody. All right, let's go into a business item. Okay, agenda item A1.
Approval of the justification of the sale price of surplus property to the Ogdensburg City School District. The Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority retained the services of Michael Barley, MAI, New York State Certified General Real Estate Appraiser, to appraise the property at 5952 Route 812 in the town of Oswegatchie. This property was originally purchased as it abuts the airport property in the back. Per Michael Varley, the property has an appraised market value of $315,000. The authority has agreed to sell the property to the Ogdensburg City School District for $305,000. The authority is selling the property to the school district for less than the appraised market value. The rationale behind this is twofold. The land sale is being conducted between two public entities, so therefore we're not, we're understanding of each other's needs. Further, this additional space for the district's transportation depot is an asset to both the school district and the community, bringing the transportation services closer to the school that it serves. Resolution resolved that the executive director is authorized and directed to accept the sale price of $305,000 for the sale of the surplus property to the Ogdensburg City School District, even though it is lower than the appraised market value.
The original intent of us buying that property and whatever it was, I can't remember the exact date, was to either use it for future expansion around the airport or to ensure that the Bridge and Port Authority retains ownership of property by the airport. And this agreement with the city school district, I think, will improve that area. Beneficial to us in the sense that we now know who will be there by the airport. We've had very good relationships with the city school district. We think once they develop that we will continue to have a good relationship and it will benefit both of us. So the fact that it is a little bit less than the appraised market value, I think it's well worth it for us and for the city school district. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second?
Any discussion? Jen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes,
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
thank you. Agenda item B1.
The Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge, U.S. Approach Truss Span Painting, and U.S. Approach Paving Rehabilitation. The Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority has acquired $10 million in New York State funds and $3 million in federal funds to continue the OBPA pursuit of long-needed large reconstruction efforts at the Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge. For this contract, the OBPA is seeking to repave the entire U.S. bridge approach from the toll plaza to the back wall of the U.S. abutment in 2025 and paint as many U.S. approach truss spans as funding allows in 25 or 26. Greenman Peterson has submitted a proposal to the authority for design and construction services associated with the painting and rehab repairs of the U.S. truss spans and the U.S. approach paving rehabilitation. GPI's cost to provide these services, preliminary and detailed design totaling $280,000, and construction inspection of the truss painting and the approach paving totaling $713,000. Total project design and construction services cost $993,000. Staff recommends approval of the GPI proposal conditional on New York State Department of Transportation's review and approval of the GPI proposal and associated costs.
Thank you. If I remember right, a year or so ago, we didn't know how long it would take us to pave that. We were going to do it in multiple years. So this funding allows us to get it done in 2025 and to do additional work on the bridge. My only question is, do we have to wait until 2025 because of all the preliminary engineering that goes into it? Is that why it's next year and not this year?
I believe we are going to start some of the paving this year with some work being done by GPI in Tisdale.
Tisdale, yeah.
And then we will be able to continue the project next year when it's all. This portion will be funded completely by the OBPA that will be done this year.
Will the bridge remain open while they're doing the paving with
Yes.
like one lane?
Yes, this will mostly take place around, in and around the actual customs building, so they can move their inspection lanes over. While we do this one, they can move them over.
And they have expressed concern about the pavement in that area before,
Yes,
so this will satisfy those concerns.
and it will also, we're hoping to get those two turns by the Bacchus building,
Uh,
that trucks keep digging in as they make the
Yes,
turn, so we're
right.
looking to reinforce those.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? Seconded? Any further discussion? Karen, call the roll, please. I'm sorry, Jen.
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten? Yes. Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
I actually read through all that. I really gotta find my voice.
Thanks.
I made notes. I always look at the part where they're gonna charge us more if they do extra work, because that really upsets me. Change orders. Right? Right? Drives me nuts. What's in here? What's next? Is it C1?
B1.
B2.
I don't, did I
Oh,
jump
should be.
ahead? B2.
Agenda item B2, Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge, approval of proposals with Parsons for professional engineering services for the Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge. Staff solicited fixed fee proposals from bridge engineering firms to provide professional engineering services to the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority for the safety inspection and load rating of the Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge in accordance with the National Bridge Inspection Standards and New York State Department of Transportation procedures. The inspection services are for a 4-year period for years 2024 through 2027. This inspection will include the following structural inspections and reports as mandated by New York State DOT. 2024 biannual inspection, 2025 silo inspection, 2026 in-depth inspection, as well as a level 1 load rating, 2027 a silo inspection, followed with a diving inspection. Proposals were received and opened on April 29th, 2024, and are as follows. Parsons, $4,091,448. Greenman Peterson, $974,000. Majeski and Masters, $880,700. Parsons anticipates the MWBE and SDVOB participation will exceed OBPA project established goals. Staff recommends approval of the proposal from Parsons for a cost not to exceed $491,448. Resolved that the Director of Operations is hereby authorized and directed to execute a contract with Parsons to provide professional engineering services to the OBPA for safety inspection and load rating of the Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge for a fee not to exceed $491,448.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So
Made, is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. Any discussion?
that's an amazing difference.
Yeah. I had to look at that. Jen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Every now and then I should look up, eh? Okay, agenda item C1.
Okay, approval of lease supplement number 2 with Live Fast Motors LLC. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 2 with Live Fast Motors LLC for 103 square feet of office space and 490 square feet of reserved parking space at Building 1 of the Commerce Park campus for a 2-month period commencing April 1st, 2024 and terminating May 31st, 2024 at a rate of $15 per square foot for office space and $2 per square foot for reserved parking space, equaling a total of $210.42 per month, $420.84 for the 2-month period inclusive of utilities. All of the terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So
And seconded?
Second.
Any discussion? So I will have to abstain on this. Live Fast Motors is actually one of my sons. So Jen, call the roll.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
yes.
I abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Agenda item C2.
Approval of lease agreement with 5G Technologies USA Limited. Staff has negotiated a new lease agreement with 5G Technologies USA Limited for 850 square feet of office space in Building 4 of the Commerce Park campus for a 1-year and 2-week period commencing February 15th, 2024, and terminating February 28th, 2025, at a rate of $7.30 per square foot, equaling a total of $517.08 per month, $6,205 for the lease period, inclusive of utilities. This was a short-term tenant who decided to stay and is going to sign a full 1-year lease. And then the 2-week is to just try to get them on the first of the month billing cycle. So that's, and this actually doesn't reflect an increase over their 8-month lease, just to give them a best shot of
Sure.
being successful with us.
Motion
So moved.
Second.
made and seconded. Any discussion? Jen, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Manelli?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Byrd?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item D1.
Okay, approval of T-Hanger lease agreement with Gregory Odenhusen. Staff has negotiated a new lease agreement with Gregory Odenhusen for T-Hanger number 7 at the Ogdensburg International Airport for a 1-year period commencing June 1st, 2024 and terminating May 31st, 2025 at a rate of $240 per month, $2,880 for the 1-year period, inclusive of utilities. This will be the second year Gregory has been with us, so we're happy to see him stay and continue to use OGS.
Motion,
I'll make the motion.
second,
Second.
made and seconded. Any discussion? Jen, call the roll, please.
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Byrd?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item D2.
The approval of task order authorization number 2 for preparation of a Title VI plan for the Ogdensburg International Airport. All entities receiving any amount of federal financing assistance from the FAA are required to abide by Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Title VI is a section of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 requiring that no person in the United States shall, on the grounds of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Assessment tools are needed to allow the authority to analyze and balance the number proportion of limited English proficiency persons in the service territory, the frequency in which LEP persons come into contact with the OGS airport, and the importance of the airport and resources available to ensure that reasonable steps are taken to provide meaningful access to the airport. Consulting services for assisting the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority with the preparation of a Title VI plan consistent with FAA regulations are required. McFarland Johnson has provided the authority with a lump sum consultants agreement for task order authorization number 2 for preparation of a Title VI plan for the Ogdensburg International Airport consistent with Federal Aviation Administration requirements. The total cost of this agreement is $20,165.
Thank you. A motion,
So moved.
Second,
Second.
motion been made and seconded. This language assistant plan, I know from working in a correctional facility that you have a lot of individuals that come in to visit and their languages range from, some European to some Asian to, it would just surprise you. And we have a system set up as you come in. If you're a visitor, you would point to the language, your language, and it provides a direct link by phone to a company that will interpret for you. So it's maybe something they're looking at for their language assistance, but I'm surprised we haven't been asked out at the airport to provide some sort of language assistance. Did you run into that, Charlie?
Yeah, a lot of your bigger airports, they use the same exact thing. So it's at the customer service desk. You approach the customer service desk and they will speak their language or any assistance. And from there on, they will dial the same thing, dial number to third party. And then from there on, they will be on the phone and both of them will be on the phone and then the interpreter will talk to them and then they will relay the message back to the person of conversation. So
This is something we have to do.
Yes. Yeah, it's not an option.
We have to do the LEP plan, the survey and all of that to see where it is we stand in the need for an LEP program after the analysis is.
I'm actually surprised we haven't been forced to do it sooner.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah,
and it came out at the beginning of April and surprised us all when we got the notice.
well, the state of New York might have been a couple of years ahead of us. Okay, resolution, or the motion's been made and seconded, correct?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Jen, call the roll, please.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Bird?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get to vote twice?
I
What a deal. Agenda item E1.
Okay, approval of handling and storage agreement with V6 Agronomy Incorporated. Staff has negotiated a handling and storage agreement with V6 Agronomy Incorporated for granular fertilizer cargo at the Port of Ogdensburg for a 1-year period commencing April 1st, 2024 and terminating March 31st of 2025 at the rates provided below. Truck receiving stockpiling and load out, $10 a short ton. Rail receiving stockpiling and truck load out, $12.85 per short ton. Storage, $2 per short ton per month. And overtime labor, $130 per person hour, 4-hour minimum. So this, just as a reminder, these handling and storage agreements do not necessarily mean any cargo is going to come through the port. This just lays out all the terms and conditions and the pricing structure of if they did decide to bring anything through. But there does seem to be quite a bit of interest on this company's part of utilizing the port. So that's good news.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? And seconded? Any discussion? Not, Jen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bird?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Yes.
You? Anything else? Patty? Anthony? Nothing else?
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Okay. Any concluding comments from board members or staff? Jen, is there anyone online? No one online? Okay. Our next meeting date is proposed for June 13th at 5 PM. June, oh, we gotta change that. I can't do that. I'll be in Lake, no, where would I be? Plattsburgh. I don't remember where I'll be. Unless I'm the only one that can't make it. And then Megan will take over for me.
Can do that for you.
I know you can. Any of you can.
I can do it.
13's good?
That works for me.
13 works for you?
Mhm.
Megan?
Yep.
See, as soon as they said I
Call
couldn't be
me.
here, everybody's like, I'll make it.
We'll be sure to be.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put a snack.
Well, you should.
Absolutely.
Should.
I'm running this
Bring
show.
some of that milk with you, eh? All right, so we're looking at June 13th at 5 PM. Good. Let Jen Pickman know, please. And, oh, shoot, not knowing exactly the day that the New York State Legislature will end their session, but hopefully that last day, we will have a new member, hopefully, that will be taking Chris Coffin's place. It's been a while.
Great.
Let's hope. That would be nice to have an additional person here on the board. Anything else? Is there a need for executive session?
Oh, Mr. Chairman.
No. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion, or I'll second it. You can make it and second.
The only motion you get a fight over.
Motion to adjourn has been made and seconded. Is there, no, there's no discussion on that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Stand adjourned.